Hi, I'm Sandra from Create in Spain. Welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to show you some flower stamen that I've made, just some samples, because sometimes it's nice to make statement, what I call statement stamen for artificial flowers. I'm not talking realistic stamen, I'm talking the sort of thing that just looks pretty in a flower. And for when you want a few stamen and not a whole load of them, like you would, for example, with a poppy or something like that, you don't want a lot. But with some flowers you only want a few, 2, 3, maybe up to 5. But you want them to be quite noticeable, perhaps. Anyway, what I've got here is a little selection. I'm just going to show you tell you what I've used to actually make them. Now, these little things here, which could actually double up as butterfly antennae. It's just made from wire, and the wire has been looped over on the ends. Don't know if you can see, you might be able to see the loop just there, possibly. And then I've just dipped it in nail polish. Easy, not difficult at all to do, and it's pretty quick. And you just dip it in and leave it to dry. Now, one of the other ones that I have here, okay, now this one again has been turned over at the edge so you have a loop, and this one has been dipped into a texture paste. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with this sort of stuff. This one came from, I think it was Aldi. It was either Aldi or Lidl, one or the other, in a set of, I think, 5 or 6 of them, and it was something like €4.99 for this set of tubes, which is really, really cheap. So you can imagine how many stamen you could get out of this lot. Lifetime supply. And basically all you do, in the case of these tubes, it's quite convenient. You simply take your piece of folded over wire and dip it into the top and put the other end in something to dry. Now, I've got a piece of modelling clay here, but you could use styrofoam or the florist stuff, the green stuff that florists use. Can't remember what it's called now. Oasis, that's the stuff. You could use that. Anything basically to keep it off of your work surface. Now, this one is done in another different manner. This is done simply with a tiniest bit of cotton wool ball and just some cheap glue. So it's a bit like a papier-mâché really, only done with cotton wool. And you simply shape your tiny piece of cotton wool over the end of the wire, put some glue on your fingers, roll it in it and leave it to dry. And then, as I've done here, I've just coloured it pink with a bit of marker. But you can either spray paint it, leave it white, or colour it, depends on what you want to do. So that's that type. Now here's quite a nice delicate one, and this one has simply been dipped into a texture paste and then put into pink glitter. Not folded over on the top, which is why this one is more delicate. Now, I will say that I wouldn't normally use this wire. I would use a finer wire, but this just happens to be what I've got on hand, okay? So it's quite good for demonstration purposes. Now, this one is what happens if you bend the wire over, first of all, and then you dip into the texture paste and then into the glitter. And that is quite a nice one. And I think this is our final one. Now, this one I made simply by putting some silicone glue onto my craft mat, letting it dry for a couple of minutes until it was going sort of tacky and it was moldable, and literally just put the wire into it and molded it around the wire with my fingers, and then dipped it in white glitter. You can't tell that the glitter is white, it just gives a sparkle in this particular case, and that's quite pretty too. So there we go, how to make a few different sorts of stamen for your artificial flowers. Now, a word of caution, if you're going to use these for fondant flowers, for example, then I would not advise using the glittered variety because you don't want glitter to fall onto your cake. I mean, the sort of sugar flowers that you put on cakes that are generally non-edible anyway because they're wired, so you can still use wire and paints and glues and that sort of stuff, but I wouldn't advise putting the glitter ones on. Okay, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye.